Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Thinking and Driving podcast. Uh, yes, I am already aware that this audio most likely will sound uh, not the best, uh, but that's okay. This is my test slash pilot episode. Um, so basically, what the Thinking and Driving podcast is about is, as you can see, you will be seeing my drive via my dash cam to wherever I may be going. In this specific case, I am headed to work, and then I will be um, just discussing different topics related to news, related to politics, related to whatever whatever's on my mind. Basically, it could be uh, a commercial that I saw that's bothering me. So it's the topics will range. Um, so once again, oh sorry, my name is Juselino Acevedo. I should have told you my name before. Anyways, um, let's get going. The Thinking and Driving podcast. Um, Today is Wednesday. Oh, hold on one second. That's part of the thinking and driving issue. I shouldn't be having to look things up. Uh, anyway, today's Wednesday, April 14th. Just one more um, thing before I continue. Most likely, I will be recording all throughout the day when I'm driving, obviously, which is probably not that often. Mostly from home to work, and from home to work, and anything maybe in between or after that. And then the episode will be released the next day. So on tomorrow, Thursday, April 15th, will be the episode for Wednesday, April 14th. Anyway, so let's start. Um, Obviously, the Derek Chauvin murder trial is a very important topic these days. I think for obvious reasons. I'm not saying because you should assume that I feel he's guilty or innocent. I'm just saying that it is a very important topic for the reasons of police, what it seems at least to the general public, which I do agree, which is that police do not treat minorities, and more specifically in this case, African Americans, fairly. I think that has been, I think there's plenty of evidence of that. Although there's plenty of arguments on both sides. We're not going to get into that right now. Right now, this is about the trial of Derek Chauvin, which I have been purposely following from day one. So I've been watching every single day, um, every single witness, and obviously I have other things to do. So if I miss something, I'll just uh, I'll just follow up and catch up on the highlights. But anyway, so far as of yesterday, April 13th, I don't know what that meant. The prosecution, I don't know what the wording is. I'm not a lawyer. They Oh, hold on one second. Part of the here's part of the problem. You see that blocked uh entrance? That's how I get to work. So this is an exciting first episode. Let me figure out how to get to work uh in the fastest way possible. Wow, that was unexpected. Uh okay, I'm ready with my GPS. Anyway, back to Derek Chauvin murder trial. Where did I leave off? I've been watching the entire trial since day one. The prosecution, that's the word, rested their case yesterday. In my opinion, they have been they have been doing a very very good job at with their evidence and with their witnesses, and basically proving Let me back up just a little bit in case you're not aware. The prosecution is saying that the death of George Floyd was definitely caused by um, the final cause should be because he couldn't breathe. He stopped breathing due to Derek Chauvin having his knee on his neck, and amongst other factors such as which I'm learning a lot, by the way, which such as him being in the prone position while handcuffed, which basically means him being on his stomach with handcuffs on, which obviously means behind his back, and and that pretty much affects your breathing. That's I'm not an expert. I'm just kind of relaying the layman's terms version of it. Uh, so anyway, and the defense is basically saying that it was not excessive force, and that George Floyd died because he was on drugs. He was on too many drugs, and he also had a heart condition. So the combination of those factors caused him to stop breathing. So it's not so the prosecution, it was he stopped breathing because of the knee on the neck, amongst other important factors, and the defense say that it was because of the combination of drugs and his heart condition. Um, so anyway, so back to what I was saying, which is I think the prosecution has had very good witnesses and very good experts and police officers and the chief of police and experts in 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 um in in deadly force and excessive force. Um, and again, I'm not. This is not about the all of the little details, but they definitely had experts stating that they know for sure. As an example, there was a breathing expert who has written books and medical journals and all of those important things for the past, like, I forget, like 40 years. He's been doing this, and he demonstrated on videos, on photos, the different reasons why George Floyd died from, I think is asphyxiation. Sorry, I'm probably saying it wrong. But and he showed on one of the videos during his while being on the stand, he showed us exactly the moment when George Floyd stopped breathing, and just things of that nature, and explains different things about how the lungs work and how the heart works, and blood pumping to the heart and pumping to the brain. Um, and then yesterday was the first day that is the defense's turn to call their witnesses to basically say, hey, this is why Derek Chauvin is innocent. So far, what I got out of it, and to be honest with you, I'm going to sound biased, but the reason that I'm sounding biased is because, in my opinion, the defense, it has nothing to do with whether Derek Chauvin may be guilty or innocent. It's just that I think the defense has a horrible defense. The methods that they're using, they're basically saying this was not yesterday. I'm kind of in and out different points. This is just overall their defense also was um, that Derek Chauvin, amongst the other th- three police officers, they were all distracted due to the crowd that was building up, and the MMA guy that was yelling at them, and the firefighter lady that was there that was also yelling at them to check the pulse. So they were too afraid of their surroundings. They were in the kind of in not to the side. They were in the middle of the road in a way. There were people behind them. So that's part of the defense as well. That they were afraid, basically, so they were distracted and and unable. Sorry that I just laughed there. That's my point. That I think is silly. They were distracted um, with uh, and that's why they were distracted and just forgot that George Floyd was on the ground dying. I guess I don't know any other way to put it. Um, anyway, so yesterday's witnesses um, were mainly uh, mainly folks just pretty much saying how why it was an excessive force. Um, and the one that stood out for me, and I promise that I'll get better with this at remembering or writing down the witnesses' names. But there was the main witness that was there the majority of the time. I forget his name. He was a like an excessive force or deadly force consultant for the defense. I think he was from California. So he consults with different police departments about things like this, about cases like this. And honestly, what I got out of it was basically he was saying that Derek Chauvin did pretty much nothing wrong. There was no force. He did nothing wrong as far as force, because, and he was saying how George Floyd was pretty much fighting them. What's the right word? Um, Resisting. He was resisting them pretty much the entire time. He even said, including after he stopped breathing. I don't know the wording verbatim, but he pretty much implied that he was still resisting even after George Floyd stopped breathing. So that's pretty much where we are with the George Floyd. I'm sorry, with the Derek Chauvin murder trial. Um, so The prosecution stated their case. I believe they did a great job in general. There's obviously everybody makes little mistakes here and there. Um, and the defense has some. Okay, look at this guy. There's two lanes to turn left. Come on, learn how to drive. Anyway, um, the defense has a weak case in my opinion, just based on the way they're going about it. Um, But that's it today when I get to work. As you know, I'll watch more of it and throughout the afternoon. And like I said, and obviously I'm working, so whatever I miss, I'll catch up somehow and provide more updates. Which leads into the second topic, which is um, the I guess if you wanna argue it, the so-called, which they are, but the so-called crimes against Asians, due to um, basically it's pretty obvious that the crimes against the Asian community are due to uh, coronavirus, basically COVID-19, and specifically our former president Donald Trump associating. Obviously, we all know that COVID-19 um, started in Wuhan, China. That's as far as I know, that's pretty factual. But the way that former President Trump associated it in such a negative light with basically specifically Chinese people, but we live, in my opinion, we live in an ignorant world where you know everybody looks alike, I guess. So not only Chinese people are being attacked, other Asian um, folks are being attacked as well. Uh, Again, due to the um, just people are ignorant, basically, and you know they don't know the difference, um, or I guess they can't tell the difference. You know. Anyway, the point is that I just don't understand why what anybody's getting out of attacking these folks. I don't I It's not. Last time I checked, if I were to go out, you know, and I see an Asian person walking by, and I say, hey, in my head, hey, because of you, we have coronavirus, and I go beat them up, I don't believe it's going to get rid of the coronavirus. I could be wrong, but I don't believe it's going to get rid of it. I don't believe it's going to actually change absolutely anything at all. Uh, as far as the coronavirus, my and obviously I'm sounding sarcastic on purpose. My understanding is that coronavirus or COVID-19 uh is being the numbers are being lowered due to vaccines, right? It just baffles me how how I I'm not aware of this happening in other countries either. So it just baffles me how us Americans, I don't know, I don't specifically. I have to be honest with you. Specifically, Trump supporters. They seem. I try and I've discussed this with plenty of friends and family and other people. I I have no reason. I know that everybody hates Donald Trump, and they bash him all the time and this. But that's not what I'm into. I have no reason to really bash anybody. He obviously was a horrible president overall. I mean, that's pretty obvious. He's obviously has some type of racist genes or bones in him. So I'm not even arguing that at all. I just don't get how how people can like act like cultish, I guess, like and just whatever he says goes, whatever again, I'm trying to put it in the terms of it doesn't matter if it's Donald Trump or not. It doesn't matter whether you like him or not. That's irrelevant. It's just the fact that, hey, this man over here said those Chinese people did this to us, so it's implied in a way they're bad people, right? Or you know, I guess let's move into this. The election. The election was rigged, and there's absolutely no proof. Whether it was or not, honestly, there's no proof of it, and that's the point. But people just decide, well, the election is rigged. And that's what Donald Trump said. And so we have to have his back and do as he implies. Because I'll be clear, he's never said anything straight up like, go attack anybody, go attack the Capitol, go attack this or that. But it is pretty obvious what he's implying, with his slick comments. um, so and okay, I went off somewhere else because that's what happens. So anyway, back to the the racial attacks against the Asians. It's I just don't get it. I it really does baffle me how we can just again the ignorance. Have why don't you sit down and talk to somebody? Whether it's you know whether it's a black person that's supporting Black Lives Matter and you don't understand why don't you ask them a question, right? Why don't you get an answer? You don't have to agree with people, just so you know. You don't have to agree with anybody. What's important is that you have a discussion with people. That's the only thing that matters. You don't have to even be friends. You don't have to be best friends. You don't have to ever talk again. Go talk to an Asian person and see how they feel about something. Hey, what do you think about these attacks? And they'll tell you whatever. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. I'm not an Asian person, so I don't know what they would say, but you know, and like I said, go talk to a black person. Why? What do you think about the riots or the so-called riots? What do you think about the peaceful protests? Just go ask somebody. Stop making assumptions. I think opinions are important, but at the same time, um, they you end up a lot of times just misjudging a lot of things. And there's nothing wrong with changing your mind about it, right? There's nothing wrong with and this is just an example. If I was to say, oh, those people are rioting and they're destroying the community, and that's just wrong. That's obviously my opinion. That doesn't mean I'm wrong. That doesn't mean I'm right. But why don't I just go talk to somebody, maybe from that community, maybe from, uh, maybe just because they're black, and they understand, they have a different perspective or something. So, that's, we'll keep it here for now. Obviously there'll be more as I drive more. This means I'm at work. So, I'll be back. Thank you.